Okay. And the world hasn't ended. We're still all here. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Iron and Ceramite podcast. It's been a little while. My name's John, and I'm joined by Shane
Hello.
and Glenn.
Hi,
Right. Where have you been for the last 2 years? I've been sat here waiting for you all by myself on
Yeah, we
YouTube.
we never joined the stream. That was it. We never clicked the link, and it's just been set there on a different window for 2 years.
technical issues.
Aged terribly. It's been such a long time. Ah. Well, how are you all? All good?
Yes, all
Yeah.
good on this end.
Well, I'm glad that you guys have come back. I know that we've sort of talked about restarting for a while, and now we're here.
Yep.
So, what does anybody want to talk about? I've made no plans. I've thrown this all at you two.
Yeah, that's it. We've got to hold the entire video together for however long we're going to be on for
Yeah.
for our Saturday evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. What was I thinking about? I was thinking. Well, actually, I was thinking about this morning because obviously you made a good point. It'd been a couple of years since we actually jumped on and did a video. And normally we'd record them and put them up as a podcast, so that there'd be a tiny bit of editing and stuff like that. But this time we're doing it live,
Yeah.
as the kids would say. And I was thinking, okay, what has changed in those 2 years? What sort of happened between when we left off and when we started? And I think obviously we've done a few tournaments since then, played a few
Yeah.
more games. 10th edition has got a little bit older. I think the last time we were probably on the toilet, it was still 9th edition, right? Or would it have been
I don't know.
10th
I
at
think
that
it
point?
may have
It might
just
been,
started.
might have
Yeah.
just started. So 10th is now coming towards the end of its time, right? So
Yeah.
it's not long left to go. And the state of the game is very different to what it was the last time we all spoke. I know from your point of view, Glenn, like you haven't done maybe as much gaming, so 10th edition may have passed you by largely from a tabletop point of view.
Yeah, I was thinking about this a little while back, and I honestly don't think I've played a game in 10th edition. Like potentially, I've done a game with the little. What did they have? Like the combat patrol, whatever it
Oh yeah,
first launched, and like the sort of the simplified rules, just to get a little taste of that. But I don't honestly think I've played a proper full scale game.
When we got together ages ago, and played like the small 500 points, was that still ninth edition? Because
The
that's,
little
I think, yeah.
500 points, was that not the combat patrol stuff?
so that was we played one game where we all had 500 points because it was like the most we could get together, and then we did do combat patrol at the start. We did do that because I remember
Yeah.
playing. You very kindly gave me 10 Zangors because the Thousand Sun combat patrol
Yeah.
at the start of the edition had 20 Zangors and I only had 10. And so you very kindly gave me 10 Zangors so I could up the squad, and then I had all of the right actual units to play that 500 point combat patrol. And then John, I think you were running the Death Guard as usual, but I can't remember what combat patrol was. It Demons?
I took Corn Demons,
Was it
and
Corn
we
Demons?
think we universally decided that they were disgusting in combat patrol.
Yes,
As
they
soon as they
were.
got in, it was just in, delete, go
Yeah.
on. Yeah, but since then they've literally not come out of the boxes, much
Yeah,
like everything else.
But was
yeah.
that was that 10th edition though, or was that
That
before?
no, that was 10th edition because
Yeah.
it was the combat patrol for the Thousand Suns was a bit like wonky in terms of its makeup. It was
Yeah.
the Infernal Master because obviously they were trying to shift that. I think it was Terminators, and then it was just Zangors, and it yeah, it didn't get a good response from the Thousand Suns community because it was just a strange box. Since then, obviously they've launched all of the battle boxes, and I've got the Thrall band that I've got up in my pile of chain still to put together. that's been much better balanced from a Thousand Suns point of view, but not particularly balanced. Because at the start of the edition, I was like that was when I was all in on Thousand Suns. That was what I was going to do there, and I was painting yellow stripes and gold trim. Generally losing the will to live, and then finally managed to get all of the things that I needed to put together. So like the Demon Prince with wings and another Mutalith Vortex Beast and everything that I thought I needed to be tournament ready. Took them to the London Grand Tournament last year, and it was literally just after they'd been nerfed and the meta changed. So I got one draw and then 4 losses. So it was a pretty rough tournament. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun. And they just changed the meta, and then basically the meta now for the Thousand Suns is just Terminators. All of the Terminators that you can take, and that's how you do it. And obviously I didn't have all of those Terminators, and at that point I was like, I can't do any more gold trim and yellow. No. So as we've oft discussed, I was then like, no, it's going to be year of the Space Wolves this year.
How's that going, Shane?
not very well. Not very well. They got all their new kit. They got another army battle box, which I got, and I've got all of the new characters, and I've built a lot of them. But I haven't then got to painting them really. I've managed to do one squad of Inceptors, the ones that give you the bubble. They're not even Space Wolves. I've just painted like generic Marines and Space Wolves color. So that's not going particularly well, because even though it is the year of the Wolves, unfortunately the Necrons, which is my other army, got a load of very, very cool updates. So instead I've been blasted my way through them. And next up on the list, before I even get back to Logan and Pals, is Necrosaur and the new Nightbringer shard. Because I've got the old one, but now we've got the new one. So I've got to put that together and paint that up as well. And again, this is coming back to the edition side of things, because we are right at the end of the edition, and they've got their campaign books with the 500 wells, and they've got all this stuff coming out. And Games Workshop always do it at the end of edition. They're like, right, let's make all of this stuff really good so that it flies off the shelves. And so right now, Necrons are very overpowered, really. And so if you've got the models and you're a Necron player, you're probably having a lot of fun. And certainly for the last couple of games we've had, where I've only had 2 shards running around for the shard detachment, Pantheon of Woe. But as I'm sure you'll confirm, John, that's still quite oppressive.
Even 2 shards. Two shards is more than enough shards. And Necrons are a nightmare because they keep coming back. But when you can't even kill a model, and you spend 4 turns locked in combat with a Nightbringer and 3 turns locked in combat with a Void Dragon, just chipping away. And every time you get down to next turn, I'm going to kill it. Next turn, I'm going to kill it. And he just jumps straight back up. And you're like, no, this is such a slog. Although it was a fun game. It was just, 6 Death Shroud versus 2 shards.
Yeah, basically. That's what it came down to.
Poxwalkers sacrifice themselves, some Spawn sacrifice themselves, and then 10 Plague Marines sacrifice themselves just to keep the bloody Death Shroud alive.
Yeah.
And it was so oppressive. It was good. Like, great. I'm happy for you. But it was horrible to play.
Yeah. It's a detachment that's not fun for the other player. Let's put it that way. It's a very, very rough one. I can't even imagine what it'd be like if you were playing against like the 4 shards that a lot of people are running when they're running it like for tournaments, because that would just be horrendous. But we'll see. I said I've got to try out the other ones yet, so I've got a list for the Cryptek one, so we'll see how that goes, and I've got another list for the Destroyer one, but I've got to build the Destroyer dude before we get to that. So we'll see.
We got a game next Friday, haven't we? Do you reckon it'll be done by then?
So the Cryptek, that's the Cryptek one. That game, I think that's the one where I'm going to play the Cryptek list. So the only model I need to get done for that is the Psychomancer,
Okay.
which another bugbear of mine is Necron kits. So a lot of Necron kits, like the models are really good. The kits are so fiddly and annoying to build. Like there's loads of spindly bits. It's all tentacles and whip coils and stuff like that. And like the Plasmancer, I've got him sitting in front of me. It's very not the Plasmancer, the Psychomancer. It just took so long to get it to all connect and stay where it's supposed to. And the model does look good. Like the kits are good in that when they're put together, but they're just yeah, they're a real pain to build. And the same with the Ophidian destroyers, which should
Mm.
also be painted. Um, like that's the first time in a long time I've actually had to pin a model to get it to stay together. Normally, super,
Really? Are they that
yeah,
bad?
yeah. So the issue is that the tail. I don't know if you'll be able to see. So I've got one right in front of me there. You can see it
Yeah.
just there. So there, that's fine. The tail section and the body section are two separate parts, and the rather than there being like any little lugs like you normally get that help
Yeah.
connect them, it's just two flat surfaces.
Oh
And so,
man,
yeah. And
that's
so,
awful.
even when you load it up with glue, it's then really hard to find a position where it's going to dry effectively. So I was just like, I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to put a pin in these, otherwise it's going to take ages to dry. And the pins worked really well, so that I can't complain about. But the fact that I had to pin it, a bit of a nightmare.
I had to pin a plastic model. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that is actually shocking.
back in the day, like I had an undead zombie dragon from Warhammer, the old world, as it were, and that was all
Mhm.
lead, and you had to pin those
Yeah,
because.
yeah, yeah.
But this is, yeah, plastic models pinning them, bit of a nightmare. But there you go. Can't complain. So speaking of old world, and not old world as in Warhammer old world, but old school models. I went on to the Warhammer website today, and I think they've been up. They may have even gone up today, but they've got a load of more made to order stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes Games Workshop do the made to order stuff,
Yeah.
and they've got uh, the old Space Marines armor through the ages and the old classic Space Marine captains. So proper old school, like old hammer
Saw
sculpts.
the Space Wolf one with the wolf heads.
Space Wolf one with the wolf heads.
And then one of
Captain
them,
Tycho.
what was there's like a purple one. Is that like the old Thunder Warrior or a really, really old Space Marine?
That is the Rogue Trader
Yeah.
era
Okay.
Space Marine. So it is because I've yeah got it up on the screen now. So that purple one with like the plume, that's the Thunder Warrior, and
Yeah.
then you've got the other marks.
Mhm.
But it was like I was just looking. I was like, oh, this is very cool because these are the really old school models, and they've even got the old Ultramarine heroes that they got out the classic heroes of Ultramar or whatever it is. So they got the old Tigerius and the old what's his name? Who's the chapter master of the Ultramarines? Calgar.
Arnie's Calgar.
They got the
Yeah.
old Calgar. So yeah, they've got some really cool sculpts on there, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to have to buy more stuff, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. Just be something else that can live unpainted with the Thousand Suns and the Necrons and whatever else, the Space Wolves.
Yeah, the wolf.
As I said, it could still happen. I've only got, like as I said, two Necrons
Yeah.
to build, and then a couple of them to paint, and then that'll be it. Then I'm all clear for the Wolves,
Yeah.
and they won't bring anything else out. They won't. There definitely won't be Lehman Russ. He's not going to appear. That won't happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, even despite all of that, like as I said, and how good the Necrons are right now, despite that, I still managed to go to another tournament and pick up the wooden spoon. Although I feel like the wooden spoon there it was the second game that got me because we only got to turn three. Because the performances, even though they still lost them all, they did pick up as the day went on. But unfortunately, I definitely didn't have a meta list, as it were.
Still cracks me up when I think about it. It was when we got to the end. She was like, "Oh, do you want to hang around for the horse, or should we just go?" I was like, jokingly said, "No, you might get, you might get a wooden spoon." He's like, "No, I didn't do that badly."
And then that was it.
Is Shane still here? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was it. I got a bag of sweets out of it.
Yeah. And I did get a good photo of you getting your award.
Yeah. I had to explain to Joe what a wooden spoon actually was at that point.
It's first place.
Yeah. So that was a humbling moment, and a lesson in trying to make sure that you get your opponent to finish the game, because that might have avoided it for me. I wasn't the only person that went 0-3, but I was at that second game scored very low because we obviously only got to turn 3.
No, but that's when we went to before what we played first round. That was my worst outing so far, because
that was a 0-3, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. I mean, because our game was really close, and that was like one secondary or one bad decision changed it, and obviously like outplayed me, brilliant. And then the next 2 games, it's just like, okay, I think because we went down to the last couple of minutes. The next game I played, I finished with an hour left and just went and sat outside and had my lunch.
Who was that second? What was the army in the second one?
I'll have to look at it. Give me a second. I'll look it up, because the last game I played demons. The second one,
that was it. I remember the last game was the demons, and it wasn't like the combat patrol Glen one that you had. It was more like it was all of the big demons.
Proper demons, yeah. There was demon princes, grey unclean ones, horrible things coming out the walls.
Big old bloodthirster, wasn't there? Or was it actually Bellicor? I can't remember which one it was.
I can't remember. My memory's awful. So what did we do? Oh, so I played your Necrons. So that was 75-82.
Yeah.
At Star Chatter. Then I played Necrons Hypercrypt, and that was a 44-96 absolute tabling. And then I played Chaos Demons, and that was 47-49. But that did go down to the last minute. I just couldn't shift anything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I thought. Made my list, tested it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do right today. And then just got humbled, come home and deleted it.
Well, I do remember that list, because I think we tested it out, didn't we, in a couple of games before? And it was like, okay, this should do the job. But...
Yeah. But I've got a new list, hopefully. I've just edited it slightly for Friday, because I've got 3 Blight Launcher drones all painted up, ready to go.
So I was going to say, for those that have forgotten on the stream, or forgotten that since we last recorded, obviously John's a Death Guard player.
Yeah.
And so you've now got the 3 light drones.
Yeah, I've got a bit of everything now. Death Guard collection is not complete because I've got to max it all out now. But
it's extensive though.
It is. Yes. And I've got another mower drone that I'm halfway through painting. But Typhus had a bit of a bench in for the last few months.
Well, he lost his hand, didn't he?
Yeah, I dropped him and lost his hand, and I'm pretty sure I got hoovered up. And, I don't like to play without the whole model. So I managed to get someone to 3D print me a hand, and I took him to his first outing the other day. And I played a really good game against Eldari, which I won. But Typhus died round 2 by getting his head chopped off by a Wraith Lord. I wasn't expecting that. Back in the shelf you go.
I mean, had you repainted the hand?
Yeah, I repainted the hand.
Oh, you had repainted the hand, so it's not even that. Right.
New hand syndrome.
Yeah, new hand syndrome.
He didn't do anything.
At least he didn't blow his own brains out, because normally that's what he does, or that's what your Typhus does.
Yeah. No, I was quite impressed. He did. What did he do? He did 3 mortal wounds to the Wraith Lord, and then got charged. The Poxwalkers were almost all dead, so there was 2 left. And I failed 2 saves. I thought, that's okay, I'll reroll one of those. 3 damage each coming in. Failed. I was like, okay, that's Typhus gone. In 1 hit, he's done nothing. Didn't get onto a point, didn't score me anything, did 3 damage, and got his head chopped off. And I was like, okay, cool. Typhus hasn't, like, the new hand hasn't, like, roided him out or anything. It's actually just kept him the same.
Yeah, it's not changed his fate. He's still your Typhus.
Other Typhuses may perform very well. My Typhus is not very good.
Were you running him? Because I might have missed it or forgotten. But were you running him like leading the Poxwalkers?
Yeah, for that game it was. Yeah,
you were going okay. You were going Typhus and Poxwalkers, which makes sense.
But I have to say, we played that game down at the club. I've never ever spiked so many 5-up feel no pains, to the point where I was apologising for keeping Poxwalkers alive, because even when he was doing 2 damage, I was still saving. Like, if it was 4 going through, I was still saving half of them. I was like, I don't know what's happened. These Poxwalkers are loving it. Not Typhus's Poxwalkers, obviously they failed, but the other 2 just scored me all my points. Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's good old Pox boys. Can't complain.
Yeah, love them.
When's your next tournament?
The 22nd. Warzone games it is. So should be all right. Test out the list a couple of times, and then I'll go and completely whiff.
Never know. It'll be all right. Like as I said, I think that one where you whiffed before, I think that's just purely one of those things, right? You can't.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a dice game, isn't it? It's frustratingly addictive.
Indeed. What about you, Glenn? Any tournaments planned this year?
You're all very funny. No, not to that extent, but I have made a promise to myself and to the wife. I'm actually going to get some hobby done this year. We set foot in a games workshop for the first time in a long time a couple of weeks ago, and it has disappeared. It's over there somewhere. I've actually bought myself an up-to-date codex.
Ooh, which one?
Which one? Yeah.
Grey Knights.
Green Knights.
Ooh. Well, yes, the Green Knights. Yes, they will be. But unlike you guys, though, I'm not hugely, because I haven't even remotely looked at stuff in so long. I haven't got a clue what the meta is. I don't know. I don't care what the meta is. I just want to do something that I want to enjoy doing to sort of get that spark back.
Yeah.
But having moved in last month, just over a month ago, seeing the vast amount of stuff that I had to move, that was just hobby stuff, was it was humbling. So yeah, some of it needs to actually be done. Some of it needs to probably get moved on. Like a couple of years back, I sold 7 armies. I've still got 7 armies. So to varying degrees. And not one of them painted, but it would be terrible to change, history. But yeah, I've given myself the year to get 2,000 points painted to an enjoyable 2,000 points to use, because like when you guys go to a tournament, what is your purpose? Are you going because you want to win? Are you going to like chase the meta? Are you going just to have a laugh and a bit of good time, play some different people you don't normally play? What's your driving thing? Because I've been to tournaments before, but I've always been away as a group, and generally it was an opportunity for a weekend away to get pissed in the evenings and play some games during the day. And
we're all about those spoons. We just want spoons.
No, I mean, for me, it was, why do I do it? I think for me, it's more, it's exactly that. It's to actually play other armies that I'm not going to come across. Like within, like obviously our little gaming group, we know, like if I'm playing John, it will be Death Guard, and like obviously my side I can be a bit more flexible because I've got enough points painted for Necron or Space Wolves or Thousand Suns. So there's a bit of variety there. But if I want to play different armies, then actually a tournament's a pretty good way of doing it. And like John likes, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but goes to like a local club where you then get that ability to get those other games. Whereas at the moment, just because of working and various other bits and pieces, I can't necessarily go to the club. So the tournament will allow me to do that. And most of them, like, to be honest, like, you still get people that are really like meta chasing at those tournaments, that are there for their numbers, that are there trying to, be as high as they can be in various scoring leaderboards and stuff like that. But you tend to find that really quickly, um, after the first game, you find the right sort of level at a tournament anyway, because you've just moved down the tables to the players that are either not quite as good or don't have the meta army and so can't be as good.
Problem is, I've been to a couple of tournaments that's not the case. They didn't do like the Swiss
Yeah,
table format, and you could get five real crap random draws and end up playing like five of the six best players there, and it's such an unenjoyable weekend. I think I didn't even play. I think game 4 and 5 one weekend because it was just it crushed it out of me because my list was just I took some stuff for fun. I wanted to take it, and yeah, it was so far off. But yeah, I might be interested in a tournament maybe later in the year
yeah.
when
Uh,
um when we get back to some normality of actually doing hobby again. Um, but
yeah,
it won't be for you know trying to win. If I win a game, brilliant. If I don't, as long as I don't play, three absolute penises, then that's fine.
yeah. No, I think, as I said, you do hear like some horror stories about it. I maybe have just been very lucky, but it's not ever really come up. Like sometimes you get games where it might get a bit tetchy at certain points, but generally by the end of it, everyone's had a good time.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think I've played anybody where I've got a not really where I haven't enjoyed it. I think maybe one or two games in like the 5 years, but it's going to happen, isn't it? But yeah, the tournament it's just like Shane said, get to play some different armies. And I feel like it's because you went obviously to a couple first, you like the London GT and you did a tournament before I went to one.
Yeah,
And just from listening to you go, it was like a massive like trial by fire and changed the way that we've played
yeah,
because we didn't quite understand how competitive 40k was or how competitive 40k works compared to the way we were just playing. Here's the rules, let's go for it. And they're like, no, no, I'm half an inch away from the wall. You ain't touching me. And we like now we've got scouts and infiltrators. Never that was never a thing that we ever thought of. And then
yeah,
you go to the toilets like, no, actually, everyone's got scouts, everyone's got infiltrators, everyone's doing this, everyone's doing that. It's like, oh, the game is actually like a bit more coded to what we were used to. So that's been a big eye opener.
yeah. There's definitely a lot more to it once you start playing that
Yeah,
competitive side.
but I don't think there's too many armies I haven't played now. I was just trying to think like there's obviously those different flavors of Space Marines, but I think Space Marines is probably one of the armies I've played the least, other than like your Space Wolves. No, no one. I think I've played Dark Angels was the last Space Marines I played. Maybe Blood Angels, but that's it. I don't think I can't think of the last time I played anybody with Space Marines.
Yeah, it is interesting because I remember like said London Grand Tournament. Like I know what you mean. You don't necessarily play it. At the London Grand, I turned up and the first three games were all Space Marines.
Yeah,
So it was Ultramarines. So it was an Ultramarine list where they had like the big flyer that had a dreadnought in it. And I was like, okay, this is going to be bad news. And I somehow managed to draw that game. And then after that, it was two Blood Angels lists, and they just wrecked me, completely destroyed me. And then after that, it was Gene Stealer Colts and Thousand Suns. So it was a mirror match.
Hmm.
And the Gene Stealer cult was because I'm being a Space Marine player. I know what Space Marines do, so there wasn't too many surprises. Playing against the Gene Stealer cults is the first time I'd ever played against them. That was like really mad because they've got so many like different rules and intricacies and things that don't look like they're going to hit particularly hard actually hit like a truck, and you're like, okay, this is a completely different like army to try and unlock. So that was quite good. I was going to say other Space Marines. I've played against Dark Angels as well. I do tend to see a lot of Ultramarines doing the rounds this edition, and that's been from the beginning of the edition. Like, it's never really changed. There does seem to be lots and lots of Ultramarine players.
I think the most like tournaments. I think I seem to get a lot of Necron players every tournament. Has been, because obviously the one we just spoke about, 2 Necrons. Last tournament, my second game was Necrons. The one
Right
before
now,
that, I'm sure.
Right now, they're like one of the big meta armies, right?
They're hot,
So,
and they
yeah, like their player count went up after Star Shatter because Star Shatter is a really good detachment, so works really well. And then obviously they've just had the new ones launched with the new models and the new Nightbringer. And at the moment, the shards are, bordering on broken. So it's, there's lots of players. And then I suppose also because they were the other half of the 9th edition launch, I think it was, because that was Indomitus. So it was Space Marines, but the Ultramarines in the narrative, but Space Marines versus Necrons. So
it was,
I think a lot of players like that are around now, if they were going to get into Necrons, would have got into Necrons at that point. And then if again they're a bit like us, if they did what was the name of that magazine?
Imperium.
If they did Imperium that year, that was also Necrons. So you very quickly got a solid base of warriors and things like that. And you only, like for my one, like the only things I've really needed to buy have been the shards and like a Doomsday Arc. And then away you go. You've got a not too far off competitive list. And so that's probably why you see a lot of them about.
Yeah. I was watching a video earlier or yesterday about like top 5 armies for this edition. And they were talking, and they said like ones that performed the best, one off. And I don't think that the shards are quite as dominant as the Mordaka orcs, because that was because I completely forgot about that, because Dave's oldest has got it, and I think he got some orcs just as they nerfed Mordaka.
Yeah.
So
Mordaka was like ridiculous when it came out, and it was like this is again, it's another broken thing, right? But they wanted to sell orcs at the time, like the orcs hadn't had, they were struggling a little bit, so they're like, oh, we'll give them this detachment. It's like, hang on, this does what?
This just kills you.
Yeah, it was pretty broken in that regard.
Well, it didn't. They did like a clean sweep in one weekend in America and over here of a tournament. Just crazy.
Because there was like literally before Games Workshop came out and did an emergency nerf, tournament organisers were banning it. Like you're not allowed to run it. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. Yeah. That's when you know it's really broken.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about like again performance of factions and things like that. Because for a long, like most played, like obviously Necron's up there, but Death Guard's not far off. Like you get lots and lots of Death Guard players at the minute. And I was just again thinking about the journey you've probably got on, because when 10th edition first launched and it was we were all using the indexes.
Yeah.
So pre-codex, everyone's indexes. And Death Guard were not in a good place. Like the index was not strong. I remember like us talking after battles and you being like, particularly like struggling with the whole thing because it didn't really feel like Death Guard.
No, I think like the shock to start with was when they took away like disgustingly resilient as just the army ability,
Yeah.
where it was. So that was getting used to. I think I can't. Do you know what, my memory is I do remember it being like it was the Virulent Victorum and it was Fly Blown Host, and I liked
Yeah.
having the scout ability. But it was difficult, wasn't it? Because we're slow, but we're not doing anything, and we didn't. I don't really think they had the best stratagems or tools to begin with. The Codex, though, was like it was like a massive injection, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you then went from like the index to the codex, which when that first dropped, Death Guard went straight up. Everyone was like, they're winning everything. They're gonna destroy everyone. It took a lot of people a long time to work out how to actually deal with it. Yeah.
Well, what was funny is because we got ours at the same time as the World Eaters, and everyone was like, "Death Guard Codex is amazing," and the World Eaters. Well, I just remember it being like, "Well, this is underwhelming. This is not very smashy. What we wanted."
Yeah, well, that's because the World Eaters Index was good.
Yeah.
Or seemed better because I remember playing against the Index and being like, "Hang on, they do what?" And then being particularly brutal. And yeah, because that was when they were talking about you've got to hope that you get the right writer at Games Workshop. Yeah. And like the Death Guard writer was great, and whoever wrote the World Eaters one was like the intern or something like that.
It just was like, yeah, that'll do.
Did not do a very good job. And then luckily they didn't nerf Death Guard too much. They just tweaked the points after that to bring you a bit more balanced.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, that tournament we went to last, the game I lost was World Eaters. Yeah, and it was just so like round one in my face, round two Land Raider with horrible things coming out of it in my deployment zone. I was like, I wasn't ready for this. All my stuff's off the board. Yeah. It's going to drop in and just get absolutely mutilated because I can't do anything. Okay, that was good. So yeah, they're definitely, and obviously there's a skill level to it as well.
And I mean, like we've talked about with your Typhus, although he wasn't in the list, your Death Shroud are also, not as good as anyone else's because they seem to keep fail their 6-inch charge, whereas everyone else is actually able to do it.
But you know what's funny though, because whenever we've played, like the joke is I've got between us is like I've got one of the fastest moving Death Guard armies because whenever I advance or do odd charges, I'm always getting it. As soon as it comes to the 6-inch Death Shroud, it's like this is easy. Fail, re-roll, and they'll just stand there. I'll probably lose one or two over the next turn, and then when I get in, it's just like not impactful, and then not spiking the lethal sustains. I was like, okay, well, this was wonderful. Although on the flip side of that, the Lord of Contagion, more than half the time, does the job by himself. Like when he gets in, like I've destroyed things like vehicles or whatever, just using his attacks, and the Death Shroud is just like, oh, we're just here. We'll give you an in-bun for a bit, and then we'll die. So it's one of those.
He's hands down one of the best data sheets that the Death Guard have, like easily.
I'm so close to buying a third one, but I'm just waiting for the additions to change and see what happens. Because like at the minute, I've been testing out the Lord of Virulence. He doesn't really go with Death Shroud. Typhus is back. Typhus dies. So one more Lord of Contagion running with 3 more Death Shroud.
I always thought of Typhus as a Lord of Contagion, but he's not quite as. I say he's not quite as good. He's got some good bits, but he's slightly different, isn't
he? He's got a great data sheet. It's just my Typhus is listening, but my Typhus is not Typhus.
Yeah, cool.
My Typhus is imposter. He's a warp beast in Typhus's armor. So,
indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Glenn, going back to the Grey Knights and the Codex. So, like, you've obviously got it new. Have you read through it yet, or are you waiting to dive in?
I've not so much touched the Codex itself, but I have looked at because I've got the code. I mostly bought the book for the code.
Yeah.
So I've had a scroll through most of the stuff, a little look see, because my original list was still on there. So then once new codex dropped, everything sort of got rejigged to
Yeah.
the new codex, the new points and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a few. I haven't gone in depth to the different detachments and all that kind of stuff because it's just, oh, what do the guys still do? Oh, they still do that, still do that. That's what the points are. Cool. That's as much as I've looked into it at the minute. But like I say, it's going to be just the stuff I have, the stuff I want.
Yeah, they still do a
Although,
lot of the jumping up and down and
yeah.
reactive moves and stuff like that.
And to be fair, my army was always going to be an intercessor. No, not an intercessor. Interceptor. Heavy army anyway. So yeah, that's probably the way I'm still gonna go. Although I did notice one nice little thing, which I wish Games Workshop would do for a lot of things. The Terminators and the Paladins, you can take them in uh, not just 5 or 10. You have, I think it's 3 to 4,
Oh,
or
really?
yeah, 5 to 8 or
Ah,
something like that. And I think that's because originally Paladin units, you could take them in units of 3.
gotcha.
So people
Okay.
will have bought a box of Terminators, built their 3 Paladins, built a apothecary because in the previous codex the apothecary was a separate character, the
Yeah.
ancient was a separate character, so they were off doing their thing. And you probably might have built a grandmaster out of it, and things like that. So I might have a little jiggle around, and I won't have to go for the full 10 Terminators. I can go with like an 8 or whatever the next sort of category
Whatever
down
the
is.
yeah
Save a
the
few
super
points, but still take a bit more than the 5.
yeah
Um, so it frees up some points to I think I had like 70 points left over compared to what I had originally spent. So if I drop a few Terminators out down to the
yeah
next category, might get something else in there. I don't know if I'll keep the Grandmaster in the Dread Knight. I
yes
might just run 2 standard Dread Knights, and that'll free up a few more extra points to potentially take an additional, just an extra character on foot, or maybe some other units or something else. But yeah, it's going to be, yeah. Um, or as I've just realized, we have actually people commenting in the chat. Yeah, it'd
yes.
be nice if yeah, yeah, 12th edition with might bring some updated models.
It might do because they did give you an upgrade kit for the Grandmaster and Dread Knight. I think they
Yeah, that
released
was the,
something for that.
but yet we still have firstborn size
Yeah,
Marines.
and you
Um,
lost was it Drago?
yeah,
He's gone. He's
I
out.
mean, I didn't have him. I had no intention of
Ah,
getting
okay.
him, but I looked at the codex and thought, I hang on, where's like the main guy? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Now he's gone.
um,
You want him?
I think previously, I think he had, like, this is how out of touch I am. I think he was quite in the meta for a Grey Knight army,
yeah.
was him in the middle of like 10 Terminators, and he just sort of drop that and go, shift that. So same as like you with your big blobs of Terminators.
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
Terminators is a difficult thing to shift.
yeah, yeah.
They're pretty good at deleting things that you're pointing them at as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
How,
Fair enough.
how, how many points you sitting on, Glenn?
What that I
Built and
currently
yeah.
um I've got pretty much 2,000 points
Oh, nice.
in various stages of I think the Dread Knights are built um maybe about 15 interceptors and 5 Terminators, and the Librarian I think are built. So I've got a few bits and pieces to finish off building, and then on to the painting. And it will be
Well,
contrast all the way to get me to 2,000 points nice and quickly.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's one of the reasons why I tend to be quicker painting up the Necrons, is because they're the ones that I did with contrast paint. So they are, despite the fact that it's savage on the old brushes, it does make it a lot quicker to get them painted.
So I just buy my paintbrushes off Amazon. They don't have a long life at all. If they get through a whole model, that's a surprise. But my painting technique, I've tried doing the wet palette. I've tried doing this, tried doing that, but I'm just straight out the pot, blob it on, and hope it looks all right afterwards.
Once I cover you've got your happy scheme though, right? Because you're nurgly and makes it easy, right?
Blob it on and then cover it in vomit and bile special paints.
Yeah, exactly. Nice and easy.
Works a treat.
Yeah. Just chuck your brown and your black washes on there as well, and then a few of your special paints, and Nurgle. It's easy to get them to look grubby and nasty.
I know. Why do you think I've been through so many armies and stuck with Death Guard? It's the only one I can paint.
Yeah, you keep coming back to them, to be fair, yeah.
Materials were okay, but I couldn't keep that infestation in one place. It was too big.
Yeah.
So we'll just stick with what we got.
In fairness, though, Terra are a cracking army for contrast as well.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You can just slap it on and they're good.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Yes, yeah. Painting is always the thing. Did you ever? I was going to say, like, on the Grey Knights, do you have any of the named characters like Voldus or Crow or anyone like that, or have you all just?
No, and that's, to be honest, that's more of a personal thing. I've rarely ever had named characters in any army.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I had a couple of the Space Wolf ones, but they very rarely ever hit the table. I just had them to have them.
Yeah.
And like way back in second edition, I would have had the Dark Angels characters. I've still got my Ezekiel knocking about to this day. But yeah, once I started to sort of play a bit more, I wanted my own characters, my own names, my own legend, as it were.
Yeah.
So yeah, I very rarely ever use the named characters. Sometimes you kind of look at them and you go, yeah, your special rules are just a bit too good of a benefit, which really frustrates me. But because I don't really want to take them, because then everybody else has got that guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a few of them knocking around these days. Gilliman tends to be one for the Space Marines that's always popping up.
Busiest man in the entire galaxy.
He's got a lot to do. He's got a lot to do. A lot of spreadsheets.
Oh, I meant he's on every goddamn battlefield going across the galaxy, no matter where.
Right. Okay. Well, John.
Yes.
What do you wanna? Anything you wanna cover off? Talk about that we haven't covered on our return?
Well, I suppose the only other thing I can think of is we've both finished the Heresy.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
That was something we did this end of last year. This year we both finished it.
Yeah. Very true. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could have forgotten about it. The hours I put into it.
I don't know. It was absolute dedication. Nothing else. Kate's always saying to me, "Oh, I'm reading a really good book. Do you want to read it?" I was like, "Has it got Warhammer in it?" No. I was like, "That. Sorry, is it part of the Heresy?" No, sorry. I've got a strict list of 70 odd books I want to read. That's not one of them.
Yeah.
And now, what an adventure that was.
It really was. As I said, it got to the end, got to the conclusion. Like a lot of these things, once you start getting really close to the end, it kind of, you almost pick up your reading or listening speed if you listen to the books, just because you then want to get to the end, because there's so much good stuff happening. And the last 3 books, Siege of Terra right at the end, like, they're really, really good, especially if you've done all of the ones previous. But then again, and we talked about it, like, once you've once you've finished it, once you've done it, and you get to the end of the book, and you're like, okay, so the emperor's, he's on the throne, and that's that. And we're all done. You kind of then like, what do I read now?
What do I do? What do I do with myself?
What do I do?
Now, I don't know, because you're obviously doing the Primark books.
I'm working my way through the Primark novels, yeah.
And I'm listening. I've told you I'm listening to. I forget what it's called. The anthology they released afterwards, and I'm just struggling. Like all the excitement's like I'm spent. I'm absolutely all the excitement's done, and this is just like here's 10 stories we couldn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be some good ones, but honestly, it's like But I have got the first Scouring book, so I might skip to that because that'll be Gilliman doing some admin, sorting things out.
There is, because there is the Scouring, or like as I said, it for me it might be an opportunity. Like I keep toying with this, an opportunity to go and look at maybe something a bit more like what's his name, Kane, the Kane books, or Glenn, your favorite, which I still haven't looked at yet, the
Ghost books, yeah.
And like they've got lots and lots of, the rep's good for them. So like maybe that's a series that might be a nice one to pick up.
As a series, considering you've just finished the Heresy, it's a fairly light, 14 or 15 books, somewhere around that kind of. It's still a substantial read, but they're mostly good. There's
rookie numbers.
There's one where it's sort of like, you've pretty much done this book, but from the opposite perspective. But we'll let it pass because the rest is just that good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That maybe that will be the one, because as I said, I mean, I'll wait for John to read the first one and Scouring, and he can let me know. But I don't know if we keep going down the Heresy narrative. Now that they've actually finished it, and then you get into the Scouring, I don't know if it's going to top it. It's not going to top it, and is it all going to be too anticlimactic now? That's why I think I need a break to then look at some other stuff. The Primark novels aren't bad. Like they're quite interesting because you get a bit more into each Primark. I'm on the Fulgrim one right now, and it's pretty good, pretty interesting for understanding more of Fulgrim before he becomes the demon.
Yeah, because I'm actually, as part of I will get 2,000 points done. I also said I'd read 6 books that I haven't read before, because I've got a terrible habit of rereading books I've already read, because my brain goes, I like that book. I know I like this book. I'm going to read this book again. So yeah, I'm trying to finish up, like so many unfinished books on my shelf. So I'm currently reading a fantasy book at the minute, the final Malice Darkblade book, which again was a Dan Abnett character, and then I think CL somewhere or other wrote the final book. So yeah, I've started it, so I've actually started reading something, but yeah, I don't know 40k wise where else I'll dip my toe back in, because my Heresy reading stalled out at about book 35, 36, somewhere about that.
He was nearly finished. You should have kept going. It's only another 30 to go.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, Deathfire is the next one that I haven't read. So
Deathfire. That's Salamanders, isn't it?
I'm gonna guess so, yes, because I haven't read it. So how the hell would I know? Sounds Salamander.
I'm trying to pretend I can remember every bloody book that I read.
I definitely cannot. You said Deathfire, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I've got no idea what happens in that one.
It's in there somewhere.
It's all I can think. I'm sure it's the Salamanders one. What happens in it? God knows. Someone dies in a fire.
That sounds like a sure bet.
Yeah. Oh well. Shall we? It was a good catch. Shall we? We said we was going to do about an hour, so
Yeah.
we'll let the hundreds of thousands of people go and get some sleep because it's getting late.
All three of
Yeah.
them.
Well, hey, that's 3 times as many as we expected, so that's great.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all it's all about the people that will pick it up afterwards as well. It's a commitment to join us live, but if we do it more often.
They're the only 3 people that matter. No one else matters.
Yeah, and to be fair, once we do it more often, I think we do need to get our head around the fact that we do have a live stream, so there is actually people talking to us because yeah, we've not been so good at actually responding to it.
No, I completely forgot.
To be fair, pretty much what one person has been commenting a lot.
Very, very kindly, very kindly.
Yes.
So.
I didn't even. It didn't even occur to me. I completely forgot to open it and look at the chat. So, note for next time.
Right, we'll get better at it as we go.
Yeah.
So well, like I say, we haven't got another date scheduled in yet, but I'm sure we're going to get one.
We'll figure it out.
And whether it's live or whatever else, and whatever the topics will be, hopefully we'll be able to let people know.
Yeah, if you if you don't follow us on Instagram, because that's where I'll post when we know when we're going to do the next one. That's the easiest place for us to let you know when we'll be back, and you can listen to more of our ramblings and insight. But I think that's where it'll be. We'll work it out, and we'll put a post up, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, perfect. I will end the stream very shortly, but thank you for those that did join.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You.
Okay, we've done it. That's
nice.
It.
That's good.
We finished. Yeah, there we go. Nine